Well, I mean, we've taken a good hard look at some of the reasons we didn't win those games. That's been a big focal point for us, is trying to determine what it is we need to do better than what we did the previous year. Analyzed all the league stats and just trying to put some of those fires out and improve. I like the fact, I think with this roster now, it may be the first time that we look like you're supposed to look at the 5 spot, the 4 spot. For the most part, we have 6'9" 4 men and 6'11" 7'5" men, and nope, we're not playing undersized. And I think that's going to help us tremendously as far as rebounding goes, which was oftentimes our Achilles heel, especially against the top teams. We've implemented a new offensive style. We're spending a lot of time with all the parts of that. There's always the whole teaching method. So there's a lot of individual breakdown, 3-on-0 types of drills, with the idea. I don't always want to be a coach standing up calling plays and turning our team into a robotic type of team, but I think I'd like to kind of turn it over to them a little bit and let them make some plays, and know that there's going to be a time and a place for called plays, but kind of sit back, let them make plays, and giving them that freedom, I think, is going to mean one of our other Achilles heels was not having the number of turnovers, that we had. And so that's been a big focal point for us right now, is offensive efficiency and rebounding the basketball. Well, I don't think our approach is changing one bit. That question was posed to me a couple of weeks ago, and it doesn't change what we do as a staff or a team. And there's preseason polls, and we didn't pay too much attention to them when everybody picked us 12th. And the variety of places that were being picked right now, but I'm certainly not going to start thinking that's very important when it wasn't before. Where we can continue on the same mission statement that we've had since we've been here, is that we're waking up every day and trying to figure out a way to get better and challenge ourselves individually and make our team better. And I understand this is that time of year where you have to do all the prognosticating. Is that the right word? And they got to do the preseason polls. There's a little downtime during football bye weeks and that kind of stuff. So somebody's got to doodle and come up with who's 1 through 12. I mean, I got a email from one of the top writers in the country wanting me to predict 1 through 12 in our league, and I sent him a note back and said, "Why? That's your job. I've got my own headaches to come up with." But it's certainly better, I think, nobody is ever going to place more expectations on myself than I am myself. So I feel like we're always picked first. I feel like we're always picked 12th. It makes no difference. You can play the underdog role or maybe the target role. It doesn't change our approach one bit, and I think our guys understand that. The level of competition between our 18 league games this season, and then a handful of really tough preseason games. We're going to have to bring it. Well, I mean, the old saying, if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger, kind of deal. I mean, we're biting off a lot. We play Wichita State at home, and we've got 4 really tough preseason games. UNLV was the other team you didn't mention. Tough environments, great crowd environments, real physical. I think 3 top 10 preseason teams, if I'm not mistaken. So it's what we'll take out of those is we're going to be challenged in a lot of different areas, and we're going to have to be good, and we're going to have to be good early to be competitive in those games. And all you can hope is that helps you come league time, not be in a foreign environment that you haven't experienced before. So there'll be a lot of different plays and a lot of different ways that we respond, and hopefully it's in a positive way. It can't become overwhelming, we've got to continue to make progress, even if things aren't panning out the way we'd like them to. I think we would all agree that it was an atypical junior season. Most junior college players, it's almost known and written down that you're not really going to have the production from them until maybe Christmas at best before they make the adjustment. And so DeLon has always been a little bit ahead of the curve, I think. He's surprised all of us when he got here and had a tremendous junior year. And what I see right now is pretty darn impressive. It's a kid first and foremost that a lot of people are talking about playing at the next level, and I don't think he buys into a lot of the hype. But I know one of the top priorities for him right now is to get his degree and to get it by the spring. And in talking to him, we made a few concessions with him that would allow him to slow the pace down so he could finish under a high pressure senior year, and he chose not to do that. So he's diving headfirst into the academic side of it. He's playing extremely hard in our practice settings. That was one of the things I think when he came in, he deferred to a lot of guys. He didn't want to be too outspoken and too overwhelming maybe when he first got here, but now he's one of the hardest workers in our practice setting. He's going as hard as anybody, if not harder, in drills, making things really hard for people. He's gained weight, which has been an issue for him. And all I know is we've had maybe 5 scrimmage type environments competitive at the end of a practice, and it's been maybe to the point where it's overtime, next basket wins. They're close games, and I know maybe of the 5 times that we've had that, he's made the game-winning shot. If maybe 4 times, if not for sure, I know 3. So that's what we talked about last year in the offseason is DeLon. We put the ball in your hands late in some games, and it didn't work out. We missed opportunities, maybe turnovers, whatever the case might be, and for us to take the next step, you're going to have to be that guy for us. And the best way to be that guy is to be placed in that environment and a lot of times in practice so that it's not an out-of-body experience when the popcorn's popping and the game's on the line. And I think he's taken that all to heart, and he's providing a lot of leadership for us. So, it's been very positive up to this point. Well, new guys, starting smallest to biggest would be Isaiah Wright, who's a really solid point guard, pass first point guard, stronger than most freshmen, I think, and ahead of the game defensively. He was really well coached in high school and AAU programs, so not maybe what you consider a normal freshman trying to figure some things out. Isaiah's playing really well. Of all the freshmen, and Chris Reyes, our new junior college player, I think we talked about it Friday or Saturday. Kyle, you were there, right, when you asked me? Yes. And I think a lot of time, let's say you have 5 new guys. I don't know for sure, but my guess would be you'd probably have 2 that you would hope would exceed expectations on average, 2 that probably have a little bit more work to do, and then 1 that's probably right about where you thought. And I can honestly say with our 5 guys that everybody's ahead of of where I thought they'd be. We certainly don't have anybody in the category that, man, they've got a long way to go. They're still freshmen and young players and new to our system, but there's been a lot of pleasant surprises, and Isaiah's one of them. Kyle Kuzma is doing a nice job. It's kind of fun to watch some of these freshmen because oftentimes it's a deer in the headlights, and as a player, every time you take a step up, the game is faster and stronger and more demanding. So, these guys go from maybe being at the king of the hill with where they're coming from, and all of a sudden they go through that rite of passage again where they got to earn their stripes. And so it's part of it, and part of it's a little initiation phase. It's fun to make guys sweat and squirm and cry and uncomfortable. I think that's all part of it, and it's fun of watching kids. It's a fun part of watching kids develop as players. Kuzma's doing a nice job, really skilled offensively, long, rebounding, playing a lot of 3. at 6'9" and really has a knack on the glass, kind of provides us something in a practice setting that we haven't had a lot, where you try to simulate some of those offensive rebounders on the Arizonas and the UCLA, the long, athletic players. So having him out there's really improved our defense, I think, on both sides. And Burcott's doing a fantastic job. He's skilled and shooting it and running and athletic, everything we knew that he was going to be. Chris Reyes is bringing a physical approach to the game. He's always on balance and low and, kind of a bull in the china closet physical guy that is good for our team, is one of those points that we haven't had. And then, you look at Big Jakob Podol, who's great. He's we just met this morning, and one of the things we talk a lot about is not making the same mistake twice. It's a game of mistakes. Basketball is, and it's fine to make mistakes, and we'll coach our way through it. But you can't make the same mistake multiple times. And he's a kid from the beginning. We've almost got a chuckle out of it that seems to be a little bit ahead of the learning curve in terms of his ability to learn things, and he's getting more and more comfortable. He's up to 242. I think he's gained 14 pounds since he's been here, which is a tremendous credit to our strength and conditioning and nutrition staff. 14 pounds is a lot in 3 months, and it's not fat. It's lean muscle, and so it's fun. We've got a lot of size in that group. 4 of those guys that I just mentioned were, 6'8", 6'9", and long, and we'll certainly be in a position where we can probably be more competitive in warm-ups, if nothing else. Well, I think Jakob, our 4 and our 5 spot are interchangeable in our offense. A lot of offenses can be run with 2 guards, 2 wings, and a center. Which if you're the 5 kind of deal, because you do something completely different if you're the 4 in that type of offense. For us, our 1 through 3 within this offense are pretty interchangeable. They're doing the same things within our offense. Obviously, somebody has to bring the ball up the court, and that could, whether it's Brandon, DeLon, Isaiah, whoever might be that person. So our 1 through 3 are all the same category, and then our 4 and our 5 basically are doing the same thing within our system as well. So, we could very well end up with Dallin Bashinsky and and Jeremy Olsen on the floor at the same time, even though you probably look at both of those guys and say they're 4s or they're 5s. As long as they can guard and rebound their position, then they can be on the floor. So I think some of this offense is going to help us with some versatility. We could go small too. We could have Chris Reyes and Jordan Loveridge be our 4 and our 5. So again, it's competitive, it's healthy, for our guys, and the level of intensity at our practices has been at a pace that I haven't seen.